They taught you to believe money is neutral, a ledger, a promise, a tool. That was the lullaby. It comforts the timid and trains the hopeful to be obedient. The first lesson you must unlearn is this: money is not neutral because humans are not neutral. It is an ecosystem of beliefs, incentives, and gatekeepers. It is a language people use to translate trust into obedience, and the fluent speak it not to survive, but to command. If you want to ascend, you must stop thinking like someone who earns and start thinking like someone who engineers. You will feel the pull to moralize, to call this ugly, to pity those trapped. Resist it. Sentiment clouds calculation. Your aim is not to become cruel, but to become precise. The world is designed to produce compliance by design. Mortgages, credit cycles, payrolls, reputations. These are not incidental. They are architectures. Learn their grammar, and you learn how to bend the world without raising a sword. Begin by killing myths. Myth 1. Ownership equals sovereignty. False. Ownership is exposure. You can own a factory or a brand, but if the system can sever your access to markets, to capital, to networks, your ownership is a scrap of paper. Sovereignty is control over flow. Who gets funds, who gets information, who gets permission. The owner can be excluded. The architect of the flow decides inclusion. Your work is to become an architect, not a landholder. Myth 2. Power is visible. The old world taught you to measure power by banners and titles. The modern world makes a mockery of that measurement. The man with the loudest mouth is often the loudest debtor. Quiet power is a script executed by institutions, algorithms, and contracts. It is permissioning. It is the capability to open and close channels of advantage without spectacle. Learn to prefer invisibility. Visibility attracts enemies and worship. Invisibility preserves agency. Now, accept a simple triad: liquidity, narrative, and permission. Liquidity is the raw ability to move. Narrative is the belief that legitimizes the move. Permission is the institutional throttle that determines who may move. Control any two and you can shape the third. Provide liquidity without narrative and you finance chaos. Control narrative without liquidity and you preach impotently. Gatekeep permission without either and you become a paper tyrant. The strategist's task is arranging these elements to be mutually reinforcing. You will be tempted to chase accumulation like a compulsive gambler. Money used to show status. Now it buys structure. The difference is crucial. Accumulation for its own sake creates targets. Structure creates systems that compound. A vault is a stagnant store. A network that routes capital, attention, and talent is a machine. Build machines. Machines persist when you are absent. Machines transform temporary advantage into durable leverage. Leverage is not a vulgar shortcut. It is a multiplier of agency. There are clean, repeatable forms of leverage suitable for the strategist who avoids illegality. Contractual leverage, informational leverage, platform leverage. Contracts convert future value into present rights. Information creates asymmetry you can monetize or protect. Platforms centralize flows and turn participants into suppliers of your scale. The point is never the debt or the data. It is the conditionality these instruments create. You design conditions and others behave to satisfy them. That is power. Do not mistake influence for power. Influence can be rented. A sponsored post, a public endorsement, a headline. Power is ownership of the channels that make influence reproducible. Control a payroll, a distribution channel, a certification, a registry, or a clearing mechanism, and you make influence fungible on your terms. Influence fluctuates. Channel control composes. Invest in infrastructure, whether technical, legal, or social. Make being inside your systems the path of least resistance. People will choose your system because it is easier, and once chosen, they will defend it. You will meet resistance in the form of sentiment and complexity. Use them. Complexity is an efficient shield. The less ordinary people can map a system, the less able they are to contest it. Obscurity is a tool of survival, not necessarily deception. Design processes, documents, and products deliberately, not to deceive but to standardize decisions so they become routine. Routine immunizes systems from moral panic. If compliance feels like habit, rebellion feels like friction. Narrative is the fuel, but narratives are fragile. They require rituals, metrics, and icons. Give people a story that makes their obedience feel honorable, a mission, a promise of mobility, an identity. Reward aspirational behavior in measured ways so that hope, not fear, sustains the system. Hope is a cheaper leash than terror. Give promotions, badges, membership, and occasional windfalls that seem random but are engineered. Such engineered generosity is an investment in predictability. Never gift independence. Gift graded advantage. Dependence is the primary outcome you will design, but dependence must be voluntary. People must choose the leash. This is the genius of modern control. It manufactures consent by converting needs into habits. Your role is to create the conditions where exiting is costlier than staying. Not by violence, but by architecture. Make the alternative path opaque, expensive, and socially isolating. Make your platform synonymous with dignity. When the cost of departure is shame or lost status, the rational person will stay. Ethics, in practical terms, is about longevity. Systems built on short-term extraction fail when reality exposes them. You do not need a morality play. You need a survival calculus. Corruption is the entropy of power. It begins as comfort and ends as fragility. To master rather than be mastered, institutionalize checks that preserve adaptation. Hire dissent. Reward inconvenient truth. Keep your circle small and your incentives aligned to outcomes, not flattery. The moral posture you display publicly is a strategic asset. Its misuse invites contradiction. Use virtue as branding and prudence as behavior. Learn the art of permissioning. Permission is not merely legal. It is social and technological. The most dangerous gates are those people never notice. Licensing regimes, APIs, data standards, preferred partner programs, these are modern keys. Where gates exist, someone will charge for the pass. Be the one who sets the tolls, not the one who pays them. And remember, sometimes the most valuable permission is the permission to operate unnoticed. Build quiet monopolies. Do not romanticize rebellion. Rebellion is productive only when it threatens the architecture. Your interest is to convert rebellion into iteration. Absorb dissent by feeding it with safe outlets that the system can monetize or defang. Protest becomes a data set. Dissent becomes product innovation. Design absorptive edges into your systems. If opposition can be channeled into purchasable offerings or moderated communities that reveal user desires, you convert a threat into intelligence. Time is an ally. Power that must be displayed daily is brittle. Make your advantages compound. A reputation that renews in public every quarter is less durable than a protocol embedded in infrastructure. Compound interest of systems. Small advantages, repeated. Minor frictions, multiplied. Incremental privileges, institutionalized. Systems that outlast individuals are the only reliable currency of legacy. Yet power requires exit options. The strategist's ultimate safety is the ability to walk away. Nothing concentrates influence more effectively than non-attachment. If you cannot imagine losing what you have, you are owned by it. Maintain diversions of capability, cash reserves, alternate networks, reputational buffers, so that your moves are not coerced. Preserve the prerogative to depart, and you preserve the prerogative to decide. Teach your successors to design, not dictate. The best leaders are architects of habit. They create mechanisms of competence rather than rely on charisma. Charisma decays, protocol endures. Codify decisions, automate judgments, and decentralize execution where possible, while guardrailing incentives centrally. This balance yields scalability with fidelity. Finally, understand that your greatest advantage is perception management. Money buys power because people believe in money. Shape the story people tell about you and your system. Make your currency of credibility convertible into loyalty. Be patient with appearances. Invest in narratives slowly. Let access be gradual, and never allow gratitude to ossify into dependence on you personally. If the system stands, you are merely the executor. If the system collapses when you step back, you have not built power, only celebrity. You sought a manual. This is not a map to plunder, but a blueprint to structure. The world will not pause for your ethics. It will not bow for your tears. It will respond predictably to incentives and friction. Design those incentives. Engineer the frictions so that advantage accrues to you and to those you authorize. Remember always, domination without stability is spectacle. Influence without infrastructure is theater. The strategist's work is quiet, iterative, and unromantic. Build the machines that make obedience voluntary, that make dependence durable, that make exit expensive. You will not become the prince of an age by flashy conquest. You will become its architect. Money will be the material, networks your scaffolding, and perception your mortar. Use them with ruthlessness of clarity and restraint of intent. That is the cold craft of enduring power. Thank you for watching the video. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much.